Sir Elton John, born Reginald Kenneth Dwight on March 25, 1947, in Pinner, Middlesex, England, was destined to become one of the most iconic and influential musicians in history. He was the only child of Stanley Dwight, a Royal Air Force officer, and Sheila Eileen Dwight. His early years were marked by a strict upbringing, as his father, who had little interest in music, wanted him to pursue a conventional career, possibly in banking. His parents divorced when he was a teenager, and he remained closer to his mother, who was more supportive of his musical ambitions. From a young age, Elton demonstrated an extraordinary talent for music. He began playing the piano at the age of 3 and could play complex melodies by ear. Recognizing his potential, his mother and grandmother encouraged him to take formal piano lessons. By the age of 11, he had earned a scholarship to the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, where he trained in classical music. Though he respected classical music, his heart was drawn to rock and roll, which he discovered through artists like Elvis Presley, Little Richard, and Jerry Lee Lewis. The birth of Elton John. In the early 1960s, Reginald Dwight formed a band called Bluesology, playing as a session musician and backing singer for touring American soul and R&B musicians. However, he wanted to make a name for himself as a solo artist. In 1967, he answered an advertisement for songwriters in a music magazine and was introduced to Bernie Taupin, a lyricist who would become his lifelong collaborator. At this point, Reginald Dwight decided to adopt a stage name. Inspired by his Bluesology bandmates saxophonist Elton Dean and singer Long John Baldry, he rechristened himself Elton John. This marked the beginning of an extraordinary career in music. Rise to stardom. Elton and Bernie Taupin struggled in their early days, writing songs for other artists while trying to establish themselves. However, in 1969, Elton released his debut album, Empty Sky, which received little commercial success. His breakthrough came in 1970 with the release of his self-titled second album, featuring the hit song Your Song. This heartfelt ballad reached the top 10 in both the UK and the US, catapulting him to stardom. From 1970 to the mid-1970s, Elton John dominated the music industry with a string of successful albums, including Madman Across the Water, 1971. Honky Chateau, 1972, featuring Rocket Man. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, 1973, his magnum opus, with hits like Benny and the Jets, Candle in the Wind, and Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy, 1975, the first album to debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart. His flamboyant stage presence, eccentric costumes, and unmatched piano skills set him apart from other musicians of his era. His concerts were electrifying, featuring elaborate outfits, oversized glasses, and his signature wild energy. Struggles and comeback. Despite his enormous success, Elton John faced personal struggles. By the late 1970s and 1980s, he battled substance abuse, including addiction to cocaine, alcohol, and prescription drugs. He also struggled with his identity and sexuality. In 1976, he publicly declared himself bisexual in an interview, though he later came out as gay in the 1990s. During this period, his musical career saw highs and lows. While he continued to release albums, his dominance on the charts waned. However, he made a remarkable comeback in the 1990s with The One, 1992, and Made in England, 1995. In 1997, following the tragic death of Princess Diana, Elton John reworked his song Candle in the Wind as a tribute to her. The song became the best-selling single of all time, with over 33 million copies sold worldwide. Philanthropy and activism. Apart from music, Elton John is known for his philanthropy and activism. After losing close friends to AIDS in the 1980s, he became a staunch advocate for HIV/AIDS awareness and research. In 1992, he established the Elton John AIDS Foundation, which has since raised hundreds of millions of dollars to support those affected by the disease. Additionally, Elton has been a vocal supporter of LGBTQ and rights, using his platform to promote equality and acceptance worldwide. Personal life and later years. Elton John found love and stability with David Furnish, a Canadian filmmaker. The two entered a civil partnership in 2005 and officially married in 2014 when same-sex marriage was legalized in the UK. They have two sons, Zachary and Elijah, born via surrogacy. In 2018, Elton announced his Farewell Yellow Brick Road Tour, a multi-year farewell tour spanning over 300 shows worldwide. It concluded in 2023, marking the end of his touring career, though he continues to make music. Legacy and influence. Elton John's legacy is unmatched. With over 300 million records sold, he remains one of the best-selling artists of all time. He has won numerous awards, including 5 Grammy Awards, 2 Academy Awards, for The Lion King and Rocketman, 2 Golden Globe Awards, a Tony Award. Induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, 1994. A knighthood from Queen Elizabeth II in 1998. His music has influenced generations of artists, from pop icons like Lady Gaga to rock legends like Billy Joel. Conclusion. Elton John's life is a story of immense talent, resilience, and reinvention. From a shy boy in Pinner to a global music icon, his journey has been filled with triumphs, struggles, and an unwavering commitment to his craft. His music, activism, and philanthropy ensure that his impact will be felt for generations to come.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel.